It's a beautiful day here in Saskatoon. I've just been going for a walk on the riverbank here, and I thought I would make a quick video talking about why I chose to get an FUT procedure over an FUE procedure. So for those of you who aren't familiar, FUT stands for follicular unit transplantation, and it's when a strip of hair from the back of the head, or a strip of skin actually with hair in it, is cut from the back of the head and then dissected under a microscope. And with FUE, individual hairs are literally plucked from the back of the head and placed in the recipient area. So back a couple years ago, when I decided that I wanted to get a hair transplant, I thought someone was there. When I decided I wanted to get a hair transplant, I didn't care whether it was FUT or FUE. I just wanted a hair transplant. But as I did a lot more research and a lot more reading about what these two procedures are, I ultimately decided that FUT was the one I wanted, and that was period. I wasn't going to get anything other than FUT. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, with FUT, it causes minimal damage to the donor area. And the reason why is because you're cutting a strip of skin out of the back of the head. So unlike FUE, the hairs aren't getting plucked from the back of the head. Plucking hairs from the back of the head, which is what happens in FUE, can cause trauma to the grafts, and it can endanger the survival of the grafts when they're put into the front of the head. Another reason why is because with FUE, you're taking hairs from a much larger area. So you're essentially thinning out the entire donor area when you have FUE. Whereas with FUT, it's just a thin strip being cut from the back of your head. So the hair directly above that and directly below that is virgin hair. It's untouched, it's still just as thick as it was before. So in the future, if you want to have more hair transplants, you can take 2 or 3 more strips from the back of your head, no problem. And the hair directly above it and directly below it is still virgin hair, untouched, that you can use. And I guess probably the third reason why I chose to have FUT over FUE is because of my age. I'm young, and I didn't want a procedure that would thin out my entire donor area. I still wanted to have lots of hair in the back of my head to go back for future procedures. And I know what I'm saying is probably a bit controversial in some circles, because FUT is considered the old method, and FUE is considered the new method. It's revolutionary, blah blah blah. But I firmly believe that FUT is superior. And although FUT is considered the old method, it's actually pretty new in the grand scheme of things when you compare it to plug procedures and other procedures before that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.